Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here. I'm a little under the weather. I think I have a cold. I'm not really sure. My throat hurts. My nose is all stuffed up. But today I want to make the video and talk about, well, I want to record the video, talk about the Destro feedback and respond to the overhaul that we got in this week's alpha build. Well, I guess go from there. I have a link to the feedback document below if you guys want to look at it in text form. But it's going to be hitting on basically Destro. No clash tree stuff, no AF stuff really. I mean, demo, we know, obviously the dog nerf from 100 to 35 is too much. All the above, believe me, that's all out there. I'm sure, I guarantee that's no Blizz. So we're not really hitting on really any of that today, besides Destro. But there's a lot to go off here, flavor-wise, thematically, and all that. And hopefully it makes a difference. And, well, maybe it is taken into account. Any week orders or add-ons you want of mine, links to Twitch and Discord down below, are for free for you guys. And a link to the document as well, once again, in the description. Let's do it. Alrighty, so like I said, if you want a link to the feedback document, it's down below in the description. I'm sorry if my voice is a little raspy. I don't feel the best right now. I think I'm getting sick. But I want to cover this and get it out before the week begins because there's a lot to go over here with also Diablo on Tuesday, Pandaria on Thursday, Alpha maybe on Thursday, and it's going to be a wild week. So I'm on Alpha right now. I have the new Destro tree over here. Keep in mind, they haven't released the pruning of Destro, like with the abilities being pruned from 2 to 1 and deleting abilities. I wish they would have waited to do that until the tree came out, but either way, it is what it is, or the changes, but hey, here we are. So I wanted to highlight briefly here, talking about Destro stuff. I'm going to sort of summarize this and all that, right? But the first thing I want to hit on here is the fact that when you're pathing into a single target build for Destro, like let's say if I reset this here and just go like, I want to build a single target build for Destruction Warlock, right? You can grab Conflict Rate, Reverse Entropy, Backdraft, Roaring Blaze, and Devastation, also EP. But then you're in a spot where if you want to grab your next row here, you got to spend 2 more points. And your options are Havoc, Mayhem, which is a cleave ability, not single target, into Pandemonium, Rain of Fire into Pyrogenics, or CDF into RDF, all of which are not very good options. CDF and RDF has the most, like, I guess, potential in single target, but it's still not very good. Don't want to play it, all the above. This has been an issue since this tree came out for Destro, where you're choosing cleave talents and single target. Now, there is also the issue of Cataclysm being a node for destruction here, spawning an Overfiend whenever you cast Cataclysm, which, I mean, you want in single target, you want an AoE, but in single target, this is the only thing this node does for Diabolus Warlock. You're not pathing through Rain of Fire and Pyrogenics to get Cataclysm in single target with Destro. So this is literally, unfortunately, a blank talent as far as this is concerned, unless they move Cataclysm to right here, which we'll get to in a minute. But putting that aside, currently you're in an odd spot. You got to spend points in Havoc, typically Havoc, to get, you know, your next row unlocked here. And you usually go into Havoc and Pandemonium or whatever to unlock the path and the Backlash. So pathing issue there. We'll see where it goes. Wanted to point that out. It's been an issue for a long time. Also mentioning briefly here a lot of 2-point nodes for Destro. We have a total of 16 2-point nodes for Destruction Warlock in the spec tree here. The highest main class in the game. Second highest being 13 in BM Hunter, I believe. And a total of 56 talent point possible combinations or whatever. Or possible points, whatever, overall. The next closest is Demonology, 50. Below that, it's like 47. We have a lot of talents. This tree needs to be pruned a lot. But there is that. So I'm going to hit on that briefly. Kata and Inferno. So this has been harped on for a very long time. I think it's going to be harped on because this is the biggest quality of life change to Destro lock they could probably do. And that is Cataclysm and Inferno. So the change to Inferno is welcome one, which is Inferno going to 2 shards, or making your Rain of Fire cost 2 shards, not 3, moving the shard generation clause off the ability. A change that would drastically improve quality of life for Destruction, however, would be to make both Inferno and Cataclysm their own standalone talent nodes. AF has Violent Taint, Shadow has Shadow Crash to apply their dots, and they go to Pack and Mythic Plus, all that. But Destro doesn't have that, and it feels worse than AF having to manually cast Immolates if you're not playing Hellcaller, which have a cast time on them versus a dot instant cast for both specs. Multiple times going into a pack, right? But having Cataclysm, we saw it in S3, feels so good. Being able to run in, cat some mob, put some Immolates, all that. It feels great. It's huge quality of life, right? Not to mention, once again, putting Cataclysm here would give you the option of playing this as an actual talent and not a dead one in the Diabolus tree in single target, which we need to change regardless, right? So the suggestion that I have is basically taking, I drew a nice picture for you all, taking Cataclysm, which is right here, putting it right here. Cataclysm goes here. Rain of Fire gets bumped down to here. Delete this talent. It's not good. It's literally a passive placeholder. It doesn't do anything. Just delete it. It's fine. Just go away. And then keep Inferno right here. So you have Cataclysm here, right below Conflict Rate. It's your single target backlash ability versus Cataclysm AoE. Quality of Life, you can grab it off the bat. You'll want it in every build. You can grab it early on for the Diabolist or Overfiend talent as well, so it's not dead in the Diabolist builds and single target. Then it paths into Rain of Fire, which is a larger investment, but that's okay. It's 2 points being invested versus 1. Rain of Fire is right here. And then it would be Kata into Rain of Fire into Inferno, which Inferno is a 3-point talent investment to get to it, but it's worthwhile in that AoEs. Every pack you'll have Cataclysm going into Rain of Fire into Inferno. And having that those 2-shard Rain of Fires around with the damage increase and Kata every pack, that will feel so much better, and it will help with the consistency as well of Destro, heading from one pack to the next, which is what they want, and why they're changing Inferno. That would help a tremendous amount. You'd win the hearts. You win a good bit of the hearts of the Destro community if you did that. That is like the #1 biggest change for Destro. Make Kata baseline, or baseline / put it right here. It's not gonna go baseline. Put it right here. Put Kata right here. Bump Rain of Fire down and put Inferno here. Get this out of here. This is like, just go away. It's an old legendary ability, but it doesn't do anything. It's a placeholder talent. It doesn't do anything. This is like the most. Yeah, just do that, please. So, yeah, so that is that. Moving on from there, we have Abyssal Dominion, which is the Diabolist hero talent. Basically, just wanted to hit on it here. Talked about it a minute ago, actually. This thing, where you have an Overfiend spawn whenever you cast Cataclysm. I mentioned here in the feedback, though, as well, that it'd be really cool to have this Overfiend spawn and cast Chaos Bolts or Chaos Bolt volleys on every mob that Cataclysm applies or refreshes or extends Immolate on. So if you hit 8 targets with a Cataclysm, it will cast a Chaos Bolt volley, basically twice, on 8 targets. Obviously, we need tuning, similar to how like Doom Bolt volley is for Demo's bonus in S3 and 4. Less damage with volleys versus like single target, does more damage. But that would be so cool. It will make Abyssal Dominion so cool and fun to play with overall. Even more cool than it already is, right? So that'd be cool. That, and once again, moving Cataclysm just here solves the issue of, like, having a dead talent in single target, right? So there's that. Moving on to this, the next note I wanted to hit on is Fire and Brimstone, which is right here. Basically, another way to make Destro's AoE more consistent while also increasing quality of life and enjoyment would be to make Fire and Brimstone the way it was in WoD before, where you could toggle it on and off. Where a long time ago, you can see here, instant cast, 1 second cooldown, while active, meaning while toggled on, your Immolate, Incinerate, and Conflict Rate consume a Burning Ember. But basically, like those are old shards, right? They hit all the enemies within 10 yards of the target and deal more damage. So you would consume shards to cast the Immolate or whatever, but if you cast Incinerate, it would generate shards. Conflict Rate would, and they would hit all the enemies and deal 35% of the normal damage. Fire and Brimstone is 25%. They have rank 2 out of 2, but it would also generate shards. At the same time, back then, you also had Charter Mains, which made your Incinerate and Conflict Rate do less damage, but gave 200% more Burning Embers, similar to, Diabolic Embers here, right? Similar, in a sense. But you could just put Charter Mains here or somewhere else in the tree. Move it around, I don't know. But, like, that playstyle was incredibly enjoyable, incredibly exciting, enjoyable. And, like, whether you want Cataclysm, Inferno, Cataclysm, Rain of Fire, Inferno, or something like this, either way, whether you want Charter Mains back or not, Fire and Brimstone being toggleable would once again make your damage more consistent from pack to pack, and give you that just solid, consistent cleave. And honestly, the ability is cool. It's nice. It hasn't been played in forever. It's over nerfed, right? If you don't want to change it, at least just increase the damage modifier to like 50% or something like that, 40%. I don't know, just too low as it is. You're not playing as an AoE. You're pathing right past it, basically. You're pathing into here, and not pathing into this. Maybe make it like 35% like this, but also make it a 1-point talent. That'd be okay. I brought up Charter Mains here. It's sort of tied together. I love this ability. Very fun playstyle back in the day. It was relevant in AoE with Fire and Brimstone, relevant in single target for what it did to you, casting Chaos Bolts all the time, or shard gen. It'd be a little awkward with Burn to Ashes. Maybe it's not worth putting in. Or like I would like it personally. I think personally it's worth tuning the tree around Charter Mains if you had to like change Burn to Ashes or change Embers. But either way, It'd be a cool playstyle. I wanted to bring it up because it goes sort of, hand in hand with Fire and Brimstone. But regardless, Fire and Brimstone, I would love the toggleable version back. It would be great, phenomenal. Having it also be able to apply immolates a bunch, as well as conflict rates in AoE. That would be great. Let's do that for quality of life and overall fun, right? Moving on to Chaos Incarnate here. So Chaos Incarnate currently in its current form is actually DPS loss. Now there's been some talk about this being worded awkwardly and basically being like, and guaranteeing you 50% plus 70 of 50 or whatever, being like 78%. I don't think it's worded that way. And at the same time, Malakath ran numbers on it and stuff and tested it a bunch. It appears to be just what this is and not what people are thinking. It appears to just be literally a nerf. Those numbers could be off. He's not sure. He hasn't tested it himself. He hasn't tested it over and over to confirm it 100%, but it does indeed look to be just like this, where so gaining 70% mastery, the way Destro works is you gain a baseline 50% up to an additional 50%. So let's say my mastery is 16%, right? I always gain a baseline 8% to all my spells. It can be upwards, or it can be up to 16%, basically double, 50% more. And the average between 50 and 100, 75. But 70 is less than 75. So this is currently where you would sit with Chaos Incarnate as your capstone talent. This is where you would sit with no capstone talent, higher than Chaos Incarnate. Just make it 100% again. I don't know why it was changed. Just make it 100% again. Yeah, I don't just revert it. I don't know why, but it's okay. Yeah, I don't know. Very odd. The next section here is making Infernal feel impactful. They talked a good bit about it, like in the blue post, like with Infernal, wanting to feel like it creates moments and things of excitement. I get that. I mean, people are memeing a little bit, but I understand what they're getting at, right? And sort of why they removed Avatar, which I don't. Avatar was thematic. And that's what we want for these specs. Destro and App and Demo to feel thematic, right? Avatar felt thematic, and now it's gone. But we'll get to that in a minute. Making Infernal feel impactful, there are ways you can do that, right? There are a handful of changes you can make to make it more impactful. I think one of them, straight up, make Infernal 2 minutes baseline. Just get rid of Grand Warlocks out of the tree. Like, I mean, without it being CDR based, like in Brackenhive's Algothars for mass CDR, like under 2 minutes, it being just 2 minute Infernal is like not, it's played in some settings, but it's not played in AoE. Just make Infernal baseline 2 minutes. Like, no Grand Warlocks here, just lead it. 2 minute Infernal baseline. You could even make the duration 20 seconds long. That's fine. 2 minutes, 20 seconds, fine. I would much rather have that over 3 and 30. 2 minute profiles in this game are becoming more and more relevant, and Infernal being 3 feels glacially slow, feels archaic, and just that's what makes Infernal not feel as impactful, being a 3 minute cooldown versus 2, right? To a similar extent, Infernal feels stronger, or I guess stronger than Tyrant and Dark Lord in a sense, because of Crushing Chaos. Not because of what Infernal does baseline. Infernal does very little. Like, very little damage. It's not very impactful at all on its own. Crushing Chaos beefs your Infernal up, right? It's like making it feel impactful. You can have more abilities to build upon it, but Infernal on its own, being a 3 minute cooldown without Crushing Chaos, feels very, very mediocre. But yeah, so the first thing here, make it 2 minutes, down from 3. And that'd be solid. You can move GWD out of the tree, which would leave you just basic Reign of Chaos here. So you'd once again have that pairing of 2 minute Infernal we had in Shadowlands without like the crazy bonuses and stuff, but you'd have 2 minute Infernal with Reign of Chaos, and that makes things feel exciting. That is, every 2 minutes I have my Infernal. It rains down Hellfire and Brimstone. I'm summoning more Infernals. It feels thematic. That feels like what that makes Infernal feel impactful. It's that Infernal moment, whatever you want to call it, right? It does make it feel impactful, having a 2 minute Infernal with Reign of Chaos, right? Now, I also mentioned here, like Lord of Flames was an old ability from Legion. Every 10 minutes, you could summon an Infernal and give 3 other Infernals. You could do that too. Realistically, Reign of Chaos is like similar enough where it just is fine. Either or. If you made it Lord of Flames based, you gotta like make it, every Infernal, not every 10 minutes, obviously, but like, yeah, it feels impactful having Reign of Chaos with 2 minute Infernal baseline. You haven't had it in a long time. Just making this part of Infernal passively would be more than fine. It wouldn't be OP or anything. That would be, solid, thematic, all the above, right? Sort of building upon that Ritual of Ruin, Master Ritualist, and Decimating Bolt Avatar. Avatar is gone. Decimating Bolt has replaced it. It is not an equal trade-off. Just being honest. I don't love Bolt. I don't hate Bolt. It's sort of like whatever. It's basically an ability you hit, and you go back to doing normal things, right? I hit it, it empowers my incinerates, I'm back to normal stuff. Is what it is. Avatar was thematic, it was exciting, it's what made Destra feel more Destra-based. You're summoning Infernals, they're landing, they're big purple Infernals, like pulsing Shadow Flame damage. It was very, very cool. It fit, it was thematic, right? They cited the stun being one of the reasons why it was removed, and also the fact that, like, you know, you want your main cooldowns to feel more impactful. Like, that's more of a... I never felt like my main Infernal and Blasphemy were, you know, one and the same. They're both different and did different things. Blasphemy never brought Crushing Chaos, right? But at the same time, you know, having that stun obviously was relevant, but if what it takes to bring back Avatar is just remove the stun clause, remove the stun. It's fine. People still want the thematics of Avatar. They want the shard gen, the damage it brings, all that. Yes, the stun was relevant. The stun was good. Don't get me wrong, but like it'd still be good without the stun. You still play without the stun, right? Without having Avatar around, these two talents, Ritual and Master, just feel like they're out of place. These are like what you do to get the reward here, but the reward is gone. This is not a reward. Like, this is like these need to go. You could just make this row Charred Remains based. Maybe replace this somewhere, put Charred Remains here, Fire and Brimstone here, toggleable, and other abilities here. I don't know, but like these two feel out of place with Avatar being gone. At the same time, they also added this talent here, Blackened Soul. This was changed this patch to not give you a chance to gain Ritual of Ruin by just whenever Withers flare up, which is like great, but I mean, having this here, I think even more so almost invalidates like having this here. Just these two probably just need to go at this point if you want to keep them here. Or other alternative, you can also find some way to move Ritual and Master into the Infernal tree, moving Infernal Brand and Crushing Chaos, or Bacon crashing into Infernal, some way to do that, and make the capstone a choice between Reign of Chaos and Avatar of Destruction with baseline 2-minute Infernal. So hear me out. If you took Ritual and Ritual and Master and put them over here, this is terrible. I mean, it's wear and tune. Just delete it. It's fine. I don't know. 1 point talent nodes. Make this 1 point. Make it just 5 shards. 1 point doesn't matter. You can put like Ritual here. Maybe throw Master over here. I'm not sure how you would like tie them together. Like, just you gotta find you gotta solve it pathing wise. Maybe just combine them both into one talent. Who knows? But like, or even just like honestly, just put like a Ritual over here and make Ritual 10 shards. You can just delete this. I don't know. Make it like Infernal Ritual into Avatar, or Infernal Ritual into Reign of Chaos. So you have the option of having these avatars more often, but no Reign of Chaos when paired with your Infernal, which would be 2 minutes. Or you have the option of having the other one, whatever I said. I'm sick, I don't remember. But you have Reign of Chaos with a 2-minute Infernal, or you have 2-minute Infernal with no Reign of Chaos, but you have Avatar more often. That sounds like an incredible row for your Infernal. It makes your Infernals feel strong. And you don't have one Infernal over here, one over here. At that point, you can make this part of the tree Fire and Brimstone, Charred Remains. You can even leave Bolt over here if you want. Why not? Sure. And you got Crashing over here still if you want it. Or you can put Crashing as part of Infernal and find a way to shoehorn Bolt over here. There's definitely options to make your Infernal feel exciting. But right now, Infernal is still incredibly bland without Crashing Chaos. To a similar extent, Tyrant felt that way without Soulbound Tyrant and Ram Tyranny. They were both... Rain was nerfed. Now Tyrant feels naked. Dark Lair feels very bad too. It doesn't do anything, right? All our main demons don't really do anything. They feel very unimpactful. And if they're impactful, it's based on things like Crushing Chaos, not their own basic what they do, right? So doing that could help empower Infernal, making it a 2-minute cooldown, buff the damage it does, buff, I don't know, bake Crushing Chaos into Infernal would probably be more than fine. That would make Infernal on its own feel powerful. It's an ability. It's built into your Infernal. You're not spending shards on it, or you're not spending talent on it to get it. You're not spending 2 more talents to beef your Infernal up. Your Infernal on its own comes down. He's strong on his own. Not like, cool, he's a weakling, but we can give him steroids. It's like, nah, just make him good on his own. Do that for Tyrant, for Dark Lair, for Infernal. Make them feel good again, right? You can build upon it. Once again, put this over here. Rain, Avatar, baseline 2-minute Infernal. That would be a great tree. Would feel fun, thematic, everything, right? This mini Bolt, talk about it here briefly. Like, this road just feels out of place with Ritual and the Master into this. I'm not a huge fan of Bolt. Much rather be Charred Remains or something like that. It just feels sort of like we needed a capstone, throw this mini Bolt in there. if it goes live, like, I'm not like against it, but I'm not like for it either. It's like it's sort of like, I don't think Bolt's gonna make or break how fun Destro is, based on the other ways you can change Destro with like Charter Range, Toggle Fire and Brimstone, putting Cata baseline, putting Inferno here, Rain of Fire here, making your Infernal at its core more powerful. 2 minutes with Rain. If there's something Bolt's here when Destro goes live, it's probably whatever. You'll hit the button and that'll be it. But there are other things you can do for Destro to make it feel better at its core. And at that point, it's like, if it's here, great. If it's worth hitting, I'll hit it. If not, whatever. But you can definitely replace it, and I wouldn't lose sleep over either way. The final thing here, Diabolist Ritual. Okay, Diabolist Ritual, like talking about the hero talent, shard consumption. Real quick, just basically Diabolist as demo, you spend shards much faster as demo. Dogs, Hand of Gul'dan, how fast you build them with cores and shadow bolts, all that. Destro does not spend shards anywhere near that fast. The rituals for Diabolist feel much slower for Destro than they do demo. And they mentioned in an early blue post, they're going to tune both specs individually based on like shard consumption and all that. We need to do that for Destro. Probably like make it like 2 seconds per shard spent. Probably 2.5, like that. Basically double what Destro was probably, or what demo is. I can run the math if need be, but it needs to be looked at either way. Diabolist is fun, but it feels, Hellcaller is good too. It's very good. Whether it being instant cast is very, very solid. It feels like everyone's just gonna play Hellcaller, Destro, and Diabolist is like there, but it's not as good. So yeah, that is that. Also briefly, I didn't put it in the document. I didn't put it in the document, but Splat brought it up. Flashpoint being here feels awkward. Flashpoint's like a impossibility, more or less. I mean, it's good in single target for the first 20% and it's dead. You can put it somewhere else over here. Like put Scalding here. Like Scalding is like universally applicable. Put it here, put Flashpoint over here. Be a good swap. But yeah, that is the feedback. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. And so thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully it I don't know, hopefully you guys like the feedback and stuff based on Destro. I'm sorry, I don't really feel the best tonight. My throat's a little messed up and all that, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it helped clarify on some of the changes if you weren't aware of them, what it might mean. And yeah, hopefully it's taken into account by Blizzard with the, you know, upcoming changes to all 3 spec trees, pruning talents, removing 2-point nodes, all that, and just seeing, well, where it all goes. Out of every spec in the game, Destro has the most talent points in 56 and the most 2-point talent nodes in 16. So probably a pretty large pruning coming to Destro talent-wise. At the same time, maybe adding some more flavor elements in wouldn't hurt, but we'll see what the future holds. As mentioned before, if you want any weak cores or add-ons or a link to the feedback document, links to Twitch and Discord down below. They're all free for you guys. And at the same time, before we end the video, like always, a shout out to my patrons. We're all supporting on Patreon, y'all. Thank you a million times. I really appreciate it. If you're looking for a link for Patreon should be up here as well as down below in the description. And yeah, like I said, you know, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you a million times. Like I said, Blizz has mentioned that they're going to be changing the talent trees for Warlock over the next few builds, all that, pruning talents, adding talents, removing stuff, this and that. So I'm curious to see where it lands. In the end, I am still surprised whenever I play Warlock in combat. I do feel that our hero talents are, I don't want to say hard carrying, but they are hard carrying how like the spec trees feel right now, talent wise. I'm still impressed with how things feel in combat, even though they could be a lot better thematically and all that. And if we can get the spec trees to the point where they're fun and thematic and all that, and our hero talents are also as good as they are now, we'll have quite possibly some of the best versions of Warlock we've ever seen. So that's what I'm hoping for. So I'm striving for, but in the end, we'll see. All that being said, thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, hit the sub button below, helps out a ton. And I'll catch you all again soon on stream. Peace.